Alright, Lesson 3, Tactical Garrison Maintenance Sites. Tactical maintenance site with the tactical situation mobility requirement, the limit of the type of the job, the requirements of the facilities could be established, therefore, the available pursuit that must be organized with maximum production. Each unit must develop standard operation, presuming the move of the new area that helps conduct the maintenance operation, the move of the new location, if the necessary speed with which for the maintenance element can be set up the shop at the new location, the direct bearing on the product maintenance time and available. Site selection, the unit commander will make with a map the reconnaissance before the occupying the unfamiliar bivouac area. As this time, the command sent with the reconnaissance party with the select of the operation site with the explore the primary alternate route of the march, identify the field with the maintenance sites should be that have the ready access support with the elements main supply route and the local road net that be large enough to spread out, small enough to defend the room and the possible vehicles facility, repair parts and store supply storage. Be responsible for flat and firm soil with a good drain to permit the parking and the movement of heavy vehicles to be free of nuclear and biological chemical contamination and upwind from non-contaminated areas like the NBC attack targets. Be easy to secure with the stream of the marshes, be available to use the flank security, have the terrain feature to provide with the cover the concealment, the features provide between the sides. Likely NBC targets should be devoid of the attacks. Besides, be outside of the natural air with the corridors to reduce the chance of the air attack. To assist the air defense, have source for the portable water and the reconnaissance parts brief the unit with the commander, the fighting with the commander, and select the sites which have the most favorable character with the commander, organize the brief the advance party with the occupy the prepare the area with the unit with the advance party, consumption made decide with the advance party the government of the two things, tactical situation, amount of the work required with the prepare the site with the occupancy, personal advance party may include First Sergeant, Assistant Section Chief, the Platoon Sergeant, Food Service Personnel, Tactical Wire, Operations Specialist, Field Sanitation Team, Maintenance Personnel, additional troops for the labor and security. Advance Party 2 for the Advance Party will be played for the road guide for the route of the old bivouac site with the new location. These will be picked up with the last of the vehicle and then the convoy. The first task of the Advance Party with the arrival is to clear out and secure the new site. After dismounting, the troops are organized in fire teams. The fire teams move through the area, searching for the mines and booby traps, traps, information with the intelligence value, any other signs of employee presence, and assume that the area that has been cleared, a light with the security screen is provided around the bivouac site. This is done with establishing observation posts, strong points along like avenues. Approach provide earlier warning, limited protection during the occupation of bivouac site. The tentative location of the company platoon command post, and it could be identified provision for the wire communications made. Wire communications made. Platoon maintenance should be section representative select mark off of the area. See Figure 22 with the sample maintenance section layout. Figure 22 shows you the sample maintenance selection layout. Road trails should be selected with the provide one way with the traffic pattern. Alternate access should be selected with the marked within provide emergency exit. The main exited blocked and individuals parking access should be determined with a special consideration be given with the heaviest, most awkward vehicles such as the tractors, trailers association. Assistant platoon sergeant should thoroughly reconnaissance the assigned area to determine the tentative location of individual foxholes, carefully locating crews served weapons. If possible, routines and garbage dumps should be dug when the screens time for the rack of the main body of the unit with the route of the vehicle should be rapidly clear. The approach of the route be guided with the bivouac system. Park of the drivers should be performed after operation maintenance with the top of the off the fuel tanks. The system driver, the operator should maintain their position. Perimeter being preparation of the fighting position. Other defense measures. Bivouac layout. The mess facility special attention must be given to the selection of mess area that should be in the central located with the perimeter, but away from the interior roads to avoid contamination. Food of the dust located minimum 100 yards from the latrine serving the lines. They should be marked with the engineering tape located at the top of the vantage with available to cover the concealment. Play with it so that there are 5-yard intervals maintained between the personnel. Latrine should be located inside of the bivouac opposite prevailing winds. Be at least 100 yards downhill with the water supply. Be adequate minimum 8% unit with the top one-time hand washing facilities located near the exits. Maintenance. The selection of the maintenance allocation depending upon the accessibility of the entrance exit route for the area should be centrally located with the perimeter of the maintenance of the 10. Some of they should have the entrance for the exit both ends. See Figure 22 with the example of the organizational maintenance layout. Figure 23 shows the sample unit motor pool with the office layout with the hose of the general purpose medium side wall with on the tent with maybe 4 rolled up to allow the prescribed load list of the clerk to issue for the parts to move the small items from the offloading area to the storage location. Figure 23 shows the sample unit motor pool office location layout. Figure 24 depicts the layout example of the maintenance company forward with a direct support in the field environment. The sample layout maintenance company forward and Estimated minimum of 25,000, maximum of 40,000 square feet immediately unusable area that was required for the direct support of the company for the minimum areas would provide the vehicle dispersion approximately 12 meters from the standpoint of the passive defense for the maximum area with the more immense desirable. If the large dispersion of it can be attained with the various years of degradation of the unit efficiency without increasing the vulnerability with the guerrilla attacks, the maintenance company of the rear would be covered with a large dive of the must be more vehicle with a greater supply stockage of the more workload that would require an area one half to twice the large the command post. The command post must be centrally located within the perimeter. From the it can be exercised the control over the company remain well depending on the have lines of communication with the supplement elements. Fuel tanker should be located near and possible the primary entrance with the returning vehicle with the top off with the move of the protected position with the perimeter away from the like avenue with the attack with the officers protected with the tanker as well with the adjacent facility ammunition. Basic loaded ammunition should be removed from the transportation vehicle. Then must be stockpiled with protected sandbags or earthy revetment located near the supply tent. Troop areas. Personnel will be permitted to sleep in the area designated the area. The area should be clothed with a section perimeter. At least the troops are defending the vehicles will not be allowed to move without ground guide area with the troops that are sleeping. Alright, biovac defense. As soon as the main body clothed with the biovac site with the primary emphasis should be establishing the improvement of the defense for the area with the platoon leaders, company command for the confirming the command post location, quickly review the placement of the parameter. Special emphasis in place for the sighting of the crew serve of the weapons to ensure the all-round defense of the authorization provisions should be made to ensure the construction of the roadblocks placement of the anti-vehicular, anti-tank mines online. Likely have a new high speed with the approach laying of the defense for the anti-personal minefield avoid with the barbed concentrated wire trip flares and movie traps should be in play with an individual crew serve position prepared with the camouflage and wire into the command post with the observation listening of the post secondary wire note with the author over the different routes should be provided with the possible ensure the effect of the communications. If primary wire cut this enemy action is probably RC-292 with radio antenna with the company with the command post should be removed to several kilometers of the biovac site with they confuse the enemy the direction finding with the equipment of the trucks of the tents that should be camouflaged with the natural vegetation and lightweight screening system with a range for the cars each for the individual position crew serve the weapons prepared with the coordinate with the supporting artillery motors reaction forces that should be made with the defensive maps overlay prepared. Active defense. An active defense of the maintenance company site during the engine, including the fighting with the beyond the perimeter, the biovac the air with the troops are made with the man observation lifting, the post the must go beyond the biovac boundaries. Other members that do not go beyond the biovac boundaries. Enemy ground forces made to strike with the company in several points at the same time before the mobile defense force can reach it. Therefore, the company commander must prepare to use his own force effectively at all times here and assume that the maintenance units that with outside assistance note that all maintenance units under the concealment of dispersion deception to protect itself and does not take an offensive action. Alert system: the maintenance of the unit provided with the two-stage alert. With the first stage, the attack likely warns the unit, particularly personnel with the audible visual signal. Attack will probably take the place of the troops or position pair with the one side. A soldier remains at alert at all times. If the situation permits, the other member of the team may sleep. Team may sleep during the attack. Likely alert may soldier as possible with the defense positions. But every effort should be made to continue the unit normal position. The second stage is the attack imminent. But is given to all personnel to stop at the normal duty of the defensive positions. Reserve force then held into the nearest positional command post until the deployed. But the unit commander personnel remain at the defense position until the all clear sign is given. Firing on the enemy. Any forces observed they have in advance of the biovac fire with the long-range weapon. The fire must be covered with the withdrawal outpost. If the enemy threatens with the security attack, must be kept on accurate fire with the approach. They are within 150 yards or less, but should be hit with the fire with all the weapons. Enemies combat elements sighted with the vicinity should not be fired on when it is apparent that the intent of the bypass of the unit biovac. However, the information any troops in the area should be rapidly forwarded to the nearest senior commander of the friendly forces. Note that the fire of the machine gun should be strictly controlled and avoid premature disclosure of the position. Counter-attacking. Make the effort to destroy the enemy even if penetrate with the perimeter of the defense commander, maybe even the reserve force to destroy the attacker, to restore the integrity of the unit position, block with further advance. The enemy supply artillery, air support with the shock and action. Armor may not be available, therefore the advantage of the counteracting must be balanced against the advantages continuing the fight with the position but with the cover of the enemy fire. The chance of successful counterattack the maintenance of the troop is not good. Remember that the defense area that does not include the pursuit with the hostile forces, only elimination of the enemy from the biovac area. Withdrawal in the face of the superior force of the threat and the large-scale defeat and destruction. Withdrawal with the first get approval of the next higher commander. However, the withdrawal of the nearest from the immediate commander must make the decision fast. The commander will want to withdraw before the defending the force highly engaged. The withdrawal of the contact necessary with a small detachment. The use of the over the withdrawal before withdrawing the form in the air with destroy all the equipment supply with the ammunition value with the enemy. When possible, secure the force covering the withdrawal, provided the motor transportation during the period of the fighting with the enemy. The platoon leader should be continuously provided with the situation with a report for the company commander, using the means of the communication to keep the company commander informed. The companies must have the information in order to make the sound, timely division. Passive defense measures are to be taken when they keep the enemy with the ceiling of the biovac area, with the passively secure the measure that include the concealment, camouflage, position control, move with the noise and light discipline, minimum radio, telephonic traffic, with the telephone traffic, the concealment, the dispersion, and employment of the passive defense measure against the attack of the air, with the constructive deployment, 2-man foxhole with the adequate overhead with the concealment immediately after the occupying the site, with the foxholes are usually camouflaged with the grove surrounding area, with the concealed with the wooden area, with the blackout air lights, and cover the reflective surfaces with the protect the shadow, limit the movement of the radio areas, telephones as light as possible. One method of deceiving the enemy is to make the vehicle tracks into an unoccupied wooded area and conceal the tracks and leading into the real biovac area. Clearing the biovac area until the normally stop starts preparing to clear the biovac. Assume after receiving the word to move the sequence, you the clear of the biovac area can vary every time when the good rule is followed is concentrated effort. The unit of the efforts area to take the most time. One loading. The first unit members should be packing the individual clothing and equipment of the organizational equipment not needed required for the defense for the area that could be loaded with the vehicle secured from the move. Consumption of the procedures may be with the kitchen equipment, which may be used to serve the hot meal just before the departure of the preferable of the feeding individual rations while units is in the route. To the vehicles on the dispatch drive of the vehicle, the dispatcher of the permanent deliver the cargo companies about to move must either tell the supported activities of support will be discontinued of the location new area maintenance section. The maintenance section will try to get all the inoperative vehicles operating condition as rapidly as possible. Vehicles cannot be moved where the unit should be evacuated to the nearest spending if the support activity and the direct support company the equipment cannot be repaired, evacuated, will be destroyed. Refueling the fuel tanks. All vehicles should be topped off, and the petroleum, oil, lubricant supplies are available. The basic load should be replenished. Any fuel that cannot be removed will be destroyed. Masses. When possible, personnel should be served the hot meal before the unit departure. When it is not feasible, the distance of the move of the grid enough for the permanent serve the hot meal en route. They compliment the dispatch kitchen away ahead of the main body. With give the mess sewer with the instruction rendezvous, where the main body with the rendezvous should be the predetermined point with adequate parking facility there available. After serving the meal, the mess section may be directed to join the advanced party. The mess section should depart with a full supply of water and fuel and rations. 6. Garbage dump. The latrine filled with the garbage dump with at least 2 feet of the dirt with the clothing of the latrine spray and then proof with the insecticide with the kill of the fly with another insect spray with the component with the pits and the side wall of the ground surface with the spray at least 2 feet around the pit. Then fill the pit with the top of the success with the 3-inch layer with the ear of the pack each layer down with the spray with the surface with the insecticide made mount a layer trine over with at least 1 foot of the earth. Finally mark with a covered latrine as a sign reading latrine closed of the date. Road clearance. The road clearance of the obtained with the higher headquarters of the traffic control with the headquarters request for the road clearance, and as soon as the unit is already alerted to move. 8. Communications. Wire communication. Discontinue all the wire. Recover the radio nets will be open in accordance with the unit signal operation instruction. Closing biovac. The unit will prepare with the departure entire with the area of the police and with the main body with the move to the area. Small detachment should be inspect the biovac site with the detachment. Check with the for the proper policy. Search items of the equipment that they may have overlooked. Destruction of equipment. Equipment may have to be destroyed to prevent the capture subsequent use by the enemy. The authority of ordering the destruction of the equipment is vested in the division higher command with who delegate the authority to subordinate commanders when the situation requires. The degree of the damage, destruction should be such that the equipment is essential repair parts cannot be restored to operation either by their repair or cannibalization. Classified equipment may be destroyed to prevent the enemy from gaining the knowledge of the operation function. Associated classified documents must also be destroyed to render the useless to the enemies. Alright, your method of destruction. Detail the methods of destroying the specific item with applicable technical publication. The following method may be used in single combination. Properly operation, overloading the short circuit operating without lubricants. Fire use of the gasoline, kerosene, diesel engine, incendiary grenades, flamethrower, thermal devices. The weapons fire any of the machine guns, anti-tank weapon, and other weapon may be accurately aimed. For demolitionary, military highly explosive fragment grenades, mechanical destruction, smashing, blending, cutting of the splashing under the ledges, hammer of the axle, rocks, heavy wrenches, and similar hand tools with crowbars, cutting torches, and so forth. Use natural surrounding submergencies to burial concealment, scattering using shovels, spades, and hoes, and other digging equipment. Priority for the destruction. Priorities must always give the destruction classified equipment. Associated documents higher priority for the given the destruction of the weapons and ammunition length over the time means the limits to complete destruction of the equipment. Priority for the given the destruction essential part of the same, but the parts are also to be destroyed and unlike equipment. Learning Event 2, the Garrison Maintenance Type. The maintenance of a unit and the operation of the garrison type of equipment environment will usually operate with the buildings. They may be expressly designed with the shop of the building, warehouse, aircraft hangars, similar with the structure of the operation side of the area, the number, the type of the side of the available the building, determine the area layout, well-organized motor pool, essential for the control, management, support, maintenance, operation, unit maintenance, and type of the equipment will determine the type of the facility. Facilities layout of the garrison maintenance facility include the buildings, the hard stand with the water supply, electrical power, road nets, fences, the other real property, largest shop area, but the use of the oil and the track vehicle of the maintenance facilities must be provided easily access, be readily secured, be centrally located, have storage spaces with the supply of the repair of the tools, parts, tools, and equipment that have source of the water, have effective drainage, have the rest break area with adequate ventilation and heat with the operators and mechanics, provide sufficient light. Facilities layout will depend on the site of the location, even the facility available. The major layout consideration, including establish control point, selecting equipment and holding areas, and designing a shop area, controlling traffic flow, and establishing security, the control of the repair parts, tools, and testing equipment, provide adequate lighting and safety, ensure the security and layout area. The same consideration apply with the field operation. For example, the control office, the supply office, the initial inspection section should be near the entire area. Supply of the traffic should be kept out of the maintenance area. The elements related with the complementary functions, but it should be located near each of the other certain type of the repairs and parts of fabrication associated accomplished with the company with the mounted on vehicles. These vehicles, space permitting, can be mounted and moved inside of the building. For the figures 25 and 26, for the figures 27 and 28 on page 92 and 93 for the session full layouts. Alright, show the company maintenance area with a grease rack part window with the water point with the fire extinguisher parts in the tool room off the water point. Figure 26 shows the company area maintenance shop with the Tims, the clear publication motor subject and tool room, and the command vehicle parts and maintenance. Figure 27 the battalion maintenance area, battalion maintenance shop. Direct support shop organization layout. The maintenance of the direct support, maintenance for the unit, the normal component of the control element, maintenance control section, the server will cover the element, one or more of the maintenance platoon section of the shop of the response for the receipt, the inspection control, the repair, the evacuation, all of the equipment received and support of the shop layout with the workflow, with the primary inspection, import of the facility, with the operation, good layout, with the speed, with the flow, with the work through the shop, minimize the movement of the repair parts of the low tools and equipment. See figure 29 principles to be observed with the laying out of the facility included. Work section should be located readily accessible. Each of the supply storage should also be located to permit easy access of the truck. The services section should be located with to provide easy access to the maintenance shop. The electronics construction and repair should be accomplished by the dust-free area. The service of the recovery element should be located in the vicinity of the maintenance platoon section. The allied trade support with the movement of the vehicle. With the control section, the inspection element should be located with the main entrance facility. The supply platoon should be located near the entrance of the heap. The heavy traffic off the work areas. Figure 29 show the maintenance company forward direct support. Facility man with the unit commander and maintenance of the personnel must keep the facility prepared with make the improvement of the department of the most efficient operation with improvement of the works and condition. The battalion S4 has been staffed responsible to leave his facility. The management of the most important installation have self-help. The program minor repairs, basic improvement. Still procedures are provided with the faulty engineers. Each installation most complex maintenance repairs that involve the support of the facility engineer. The work request grouped in two categories as follows. Service orders are used with the small maintenance of the repair job, such as the emergency repair, broken plumbing, the repair service normally requested telephonically. Individual work orders that even the new work or the repair of minor reconstruction the section, preventive maintenance, requiring recurring maintenance for the repair work of the building grounds and surrounding area of the utility system of the miscellaneous maintenance. The Form 4283 facility engineering work request XFA, XFB, XFC is used to request the type of the support. Lesson 4 fundamentals of supply operations.